This guy, we'll call him Murdery. Now, Murdery didn't start off as a killer. At first, he was just a petty thief breaking into cars, swiping wallets. But things took a darker turn when he hopped on a plane with his girlfriend, leaving France behind for the bustling streets of Thailand. Once there, Murdery saw an opportunity and devised a twisted scam targeting unsuspecting Western tourists. He'd befriend them, slip sleeping pills or some other drug into their food or drinks, and once they were out cold, steal everything they had. Passports, cash, anything of value. Then he meets her, an American backpacker. They become friends, but before she knows it, he's drugging her too. Only this time stealing wasn't yet enough for Murdery. He drags her to the ocean and leaves her to drown. It should have ended there. But he's just getting started. Soon another tourist crosses Murdery's path, but this time he doesn't just drown him. He burns the body, leaving it by the roadside. But the tourist's girlfriend notices he is missing and begins asking questions. Questions that for Murdery are one too many, so she too gets drugged and drowned. With the money he has stolen, Murdery is living well. The bodies are piling up, and he knows he can't stay in one place too long, so he lures a Dutch couple he met in Hong Kong over to Thailand. When they arrive, he drugs them, strangles them, and burns their bodies using their passports. He and his girlfriend make a swift exit to Nepal. In Nepal, Murdery strikes again, this time targeting a Canadian man and an American woman. He stabs them, burns their bodies, and once again takes their passports, allowing him and his girlfriend to slip back into Thailand before moving on to India. There he keeps his gruesome routine going, using stolen passports to travel between India, Singapore, and Thailand. At one point, Murdery even makes a tragic mistake when he tries to rob a man but accidentally overdoses him. Another time, an old friend who once helped him disappears mysteriously. No one is safe when Murdery's around. Then in India, Murdery decides to go big. He plans to rob not one, not two, but 60 French engineering students he meets. In New Delhi, he drugs 60 bottles of water and hands them out. But the drugs start working faster than he expects. As the first students start to pass out, the others catch on. Before he knows it, Murdery is overpowered and handed over to the police. He's sentenced to 12 years for poisoning and robbery. They try to tie him to some of the murders, but the charges follow through for lack of evidence. However, there's a big problem waiting for him. Thailand wants him back to answer for the crimes he left behind, crimes punishable by death. Murdery has no plans to face a firing squad, so he devises a desperate plan. He drugs the prison guards, sneaks out while they rear unconscious, and then intentionally gets recaptured. His little stunt buys him another 10 years in Indian prison, a decade he needs for the statute of limitations in Thailand to run out by the time he is released. Perfect plan. After serving his time, he's finally released in his 50s, seemingly untouchable. Years go by, and one day he decides to take a vacation back to Nepal. But Nepal hasn't forgotten. Those 2 murders from 30 years ago still haunt him, and in Nepal, there's no expiration on justice. He's arrested, tried, and given 20 years. 19 years later, he's free once again, and this time he capitalizes on his infamy, selling the rights to his life story, film, book, the whole package, for a cool $15 million. A serial killer, now out of prison with a fortune in his pocket.